You Inc., the next evolution of democracy, the Advocacy Corporation. We now present to you the next evolution of our democracy itself. We collectively stand at the point where our idea of democracy, like all ideas, must either evolve or die. The reason for this is simple. Information is not protected, and the people who share information, advocates, aka you, are not protected. The people with money and power who want you to think a certain way have successfully removed or marginalized those with differing ways of thinking and feeling. We must now ignite the passion of all people and making those people and their ideas who now dominate irrelevant. To do that, you need to understand where we went wrong. When Upton Sinclair wrote The Jungle about chopped off body parts ending up in the food supply controlled by the meatpacking industry, the public outrage was so great that this led to the creation of the FDA and the creation of big government that was created to, quote, regulate the people. This was a tragic mistake we made in our concept in attempting to align democracy with capitalism. What we unwittingly did was create the philosophical foundation for the two-party system. What we should have done is created the Advocacy Corporation and chose to protect information instead of promote, quote, regulation. Let us restate this in simpler terms. What we did is polarize the people's minds with a form of propaganda that said individual bad, group good, or conversely, individual good, group bad. And thus we created what we now know as the Democrat and Republican Party. Divide and conquer. The oldest game in the book. The truth is, individual interest is good, and group interest is good, and we need both. Destroying individual interest through regulation makes no sense, and neither does destroying the Commonwealth. Both are unsustainable. If you overregulate corporations, who are solely legally designed to make a profit for their shareholders, will move to cheaper labor markets. And now they can, under NAFTA, and in fact have hijacked NAFTA. On the positive side, corporations are the model of efficiency. Walmart. If you fail to protect the Commonwealth, then the entire society comes to value itself in very myopic terms, and you are only as valuable as what you have, how you are used, and what you buy. People, and therefore ideas of people, cease to exist and are quickly replaced with corporate propaganda. In response to the regulations imposed upon them, corporations were forced to adopt lobbyists to, quote, protect their financial interests. We are now at the stage where the corporations, or should we say the most powerful corporations, own the media and have simply bought the FDA and every other organization that stood in their way of their legal responsibility. We have created the unaccountable corporation, lobbyist, and the unaccountable official, awash with money. The perfect dysfunctional system. Even the people who see the problem do not see the real problem. We have failed in our experiment with democracy. We keep wanting to think that it is someone else that is the problem. Yet it isn't a person at all. It is the system itself. Our system in its current form cannot handle globalization of the planet because our experiment in democracy has failed. The fourth estate, the media, is owned by 5 corporations who must make a profit. And if informing you gets in the way of that, or gets in the way of their access to government officials if they piss them off, it ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna get informed. What we implicitly know is that government is designed to represent the people. But key corporations control access to government officials, and government officials are beholden to their dumb constituents. So to put it bluntly, a democracy with inactive, uninformed people is the worst form of government you could possibly have. All because we failed to protect information. All because we chose force over choice in trying to balance capitalism with democracy. We have now turned against ourselves. We actually think that we are divided when we are not. We play the game of black and white so well we forgot that it was a game, and we no longer think in terms of anything else. Divide and conquer, the oldest game in the book. The Advocacy Corporation ensures that all people are heard, and it is structurally designed to protect information. With free choice, you don't need regulation. Government gets smaller, businesses get promoted or cut to pieces by their customers because information is widely available. That is capitalism in action. Let's go back to Upton Sinclair and the jungle. If we had created an advocacy corporation layer in society instead of the FDA, i.e. if we chose to protect information rather than embrace regulation, corporations could have never bought the FDA. The medical establishment and its powerful lobby would have never existed. So healthcare would not cost so much. FDA audits would not raise the costs of goods. The FDA guidelines could be adopted by corporations, and the public could know if they did adopt the guidelines. Document what you are going to do it, document it was done. And only patronize those that did. The stage we are at is a critical one. Globalization is on our doorstep. Thomas Friedman wrote The World is Flat, and the barriers, traditional trade barriers we have relied upon to protect and ensure our way of life, are disappearing. And we are not ready. Are you ready to compete with every other man, woman, and child on this planet for a job? Our elected officials talk little of this, and a host of many other things, simply because we don't know. It affects us all. Protect information, and all of our real issues instantly become visible to all people. If you have an issue of any kind, you need to create your own advocacy corporation. Once we make you the source for information, incorporated in a for-profit entity that is federally subsidized, that gets free TV time, and make it so you cannot place profits over informing people, we will have a recipe for rapid changes in society when our entire citizenry simultaneously wakes up and has the opportunity to see what is going on.